Hello, this is Friendly Cat, and we have got a very fun run today. We're going to be running Paraguay. It's just a real fun adventure. We'll be playing with historical AI focuses off, and this is a guide as much as anything about how to play Paraguay, but also how to deal with the different unusual events that will happen during an ahistorical run. Paraguay, in my opinion, I think has maybe the best or most powerful focus tree in the game. It's certainly top 5. It's got some very interesting focuses we'll see later on. It's got a very interesting way of growing, and its typically focuses are set with maybe communist one side, non-aligned another, and then fascist down the side. And Paraguay does things a little bit differently, which we'll be seeing here today, and it will build up very quickly. Its start looks very similar as with any other run. We want the infantry weapons, and then industrial. We'll also be taking improving relations with I think it's one of these. It's a Nicaragua here or Honduras. There it is, Honduras. We're going to improve relations, so later on we can get fleet range to naval invade Mexico. We're going to be continuing down taking focus, these 35-day focuses. I gave one military factory each. This will be very helpful. And right away we get a military coup attempt, our first party swap. So I think I'm not sure exactly what the bottom one is, but the top one is the one we want. It changes us into a communist party. That's pretty cool, which allows us to justify on Mexico relatively quickly. We saw the real remilitarization of the Rhineland event. That's very cool. A fascist Germany does very well in ahistorical and will cause a lot of adventures with other country, which is what we like. As we justify in Mexico, I'm aware that many times Mexico will go into a civil war, but we'll just have to live with it and do the best that we can, because I'm really liking the roll or the luck so far. Now, we actually have a focus relatively early that allows us to do a 70-day right from the beginning if we wanted to immediately have instant justifications on both Argentina and Brazil. So we will take it so that we can begin expanding. And with that complete, let's start heading down the left side to pick up some very good focuses that include construction speed, factory output, efficiency cap, political power, base stability, and begin our war with Argentina right away here in June 1936. We have no way to push against them, but it doesn't matter because they will actually bleed themselves pushing against us. And with our first political power, let's take the silent workhorse, 15% political power gain for 100 political power, very good choice. And onward down, we're going to take most of these, actually many of these focuses down the way, but ban vouchers next for that 6% efficiency cap. Meanwhile, Argentina continues to bash against us. They have no way to really push us, and they have no way to sustain this. They're slowly getting strength out, or losing their strength. So we will just move right along, and with another 100 political power, take improved worker conditions. We're certainly sitting at 0% effective base stability, and we push across now that we feel like we've got a little bit of strength. And as we break open Argentina, we can see there's nothing behind the lines, so we can use a 1 battalion cavalry units. That's that roll of a dice, little division, the dice roll, and just move right through Argentina without any problems at all. The other odd type of division we have, I can't really know the symbol, is the 1 battalion of infantry, which is holding quite well. After we allow female workers, let's allow unions to strike. That's pretty cool. These are all very friendly, happy focuses. I like happy focuses. We're going to be a very happy nation here today, very friendly. And we've actually now encircled Argentina, so it's just a matter of time before our 1 battalion cavalry units continue to swing by. As we complete Marines, which are very powerful, let's move on to tanks and improved artillery. Argentina simply doesn't have the divisions this early to cover and to attack, so let's take Buenos Aires. And with that, Argentina is nearly at its end. And sure enough, a few more just micromanage moving around with cavalry units, and we have now completed Argentina with minimal losses relatively early. We cannot take their fleet because we didn't have I don't think we owned a core or had a port at the beginning. But that's okay, now we do. So after Well, after that, we'll take on to military pensions. Military pensions, very good, very friendly, very positive efforts. One thing I should have been thinking about earlier is that once you go communist, we have the option to request license production, which then reduces the research speed by 20%. It's not exactly 20%, it's a 20% bonus to research, which works out to like 17% or so, which is still good. Attacking into Brazil, they are a little bit stronger than Argentina, but not that much. That border is wide enough that we are able to open up around, and by now we've converted all of our troops over to cavalry because speed matters much more than infantry. And we've also started to use Marines to help try to pin things a little bit. And with that encirclement, just like with Argentina, we can break open into the backlands of Brazil and without too much more effort, quickly capitulate them. We do want to avoid taking certain states. Oh, they've entered a state of emergency, I would say. Also, Italy has declared war on Italian Union. That means Italy went into a civil war. That means they will not be going fascist this run. And that's not so bad. A German fascist and an Italian non-fascist is pretty decent. That means we're going to cause adventure. We're going to take a great charter. Oh, more positive focuses. And we're also going to get the Army Experience Fellow and eventually take other items. Actually, Paraguay has some pretty good political advisors. And here we are moving right along, and there goes Brazil. Like Argentina, not too difficult, just move around. We don't win by combat, we win by taking victory points and land. And we've expanded quite a bit here through early 1937. Let's take a look. Looks like Britain is still in the Allies. They haven't made a decision. They might stay democratic. France is going down right side. Maybe they're going fascist. It's hard to tell. That looks interesting. All right. We do want to keep an eye on a historical run. Look at the different modifiers. Look at what the countries are doing. Oh, it's the democratic Italy. So it looks like generally democratic Italy wins that war. And Italy, Japan's also going to go democratic. So we're going to have maybe democratic Italy, democratic Japan, maybe democratic England, but a fascist Germany. They're going to have a real fun time, I think, expanding in this ahistorical game. We will spend 35 Army XP to take the advisor that allows us to create cavalry battalions for free. So we're going to have 6 battalions, 3 battalions, and then the police, no military police, which will later on be given military police. Marines don't look very tough now, but later on we'll turn them into 25 with 8 battalions of Marines and 9 battalions of artillery. And now we have completed taken the 2 provinces. We can move down the right side of our nice little tree with developing new territory. I think that's so much better than the left side, at least in my opinion. I'll take the compliance game. We're also going to start to mobilize up. We are doing very well for this early, and Paraguay is really starting to come along. So let's take a look at, Mexico did go into civil war. That's kind of unfortunate, but we need to be prepared for ahistorical. Mexico often goes into civil war, so let's just turn right around and justify on the other side because we do want to take both sides of Mexico. And we are going to prepare for our naval invasion now that we finally have completed that. And now on to maybe the top 5 focuses of the game. It's recruitable pop 5, supply consumption reduction, recovery rate, division attack, division defense. I think it's division org. It's a fantastic focus, and it will definitely put us in a very, very good spot. So let's take it and prepare to attack into Mexico. We were actually waiting for naval transport to complete. I should have taken that a little bit earlier. We want to take a very good focus here. After the political power, we'll take the 10% stability. We are still hurting very much on stability and war support. Here we are landing 2 off the port, 2 on the port. Those Marines should land without too much problems. They're going to help the other guy out. Looks like Mexico left an empty port. After all, there's a civil war. That makes sense. So we're able to quickly expand out. Our goal really isn't to obliterate Mexico or the Mexico we're fighting, but we will take them both out after we start the war with the second Mexico. And with them fighting each other, this is easy pickings. Paraguay is doing quite well. And with that focus complete, that very powerful focus, including that fast justification war, we are just rocking and rolling and preparing to move along to head to pick up our 3rd research slot. Paraguay has a 3rd slot gated between 14 or more than 13 factories, and then another one at 50, and then another on 100. Great game design. Well, Mexico's just about taken out. They've been fighting each other, and so Mexico is with them pretty much complete as we hold them until our second justification is complete. Let's prepare for our next fight, which is against Chile. And here we are completing our third, I think it's our third research slot here in 1938. Not too bad. I can live on 2, but 3 is really nice. And now we're going to pull back troops from, is that Chaco? You know, we're friendly. We're trying to be a nice little neighbor. We're just trying to clean this area up a little bit. Civil War. And we're going to move up to extensive conscription. Later on, we're going to be gated until we have both extensive conscription and war economy. So we do want to upgrade the conscription even before we exactly need it, because that's down in ensure army loyalty needs us to be a war economy, and then extensive conscription or higher. Those are kind of unfriendly focus, but we might get there. Let's see. As we head into Chile has joined the Axis? Are you kidding me? That's okay. We'll quickly take out Chile. There's no way Germany can get across to us. That's really not that big of a deal. It's kind of a bummer, but we're going to go to war with Germany anyway, and it makes Germany just a little bit weaker because they're very powerful. With the Soviet Civil War over, all right, they're going to get pretty strong, so they should be fighting against Germany pretty soon, I think. Here we are heading into Chile. Easy wins. We're just going to go around them as usual, take our Marines. We've done this a dozen times before with Argentina, and what is it? What is down there? The German army, I don't know how many divisions, 30, 40 more divisions they sent to Chile. This is either really bad for them or it's really bad for us. So let's send out the fleet. We're going to convoy raid immediately to, one, make sure there's no future troops coming down here, but also to cut off supply. This doesn't really look that good for us, but we'll just see what we can do to make the most. I did not anticipate Germany sending so many divisions, and we'll clean up the Chilean troops. Thankfully, they did not connect up with the Chilean troops in the north. That could have been really problematic, and we'll try to hold in the south. We're going to get strength depleted. We're going to lose divisions left, right, and center of these. In single battalion cavalry, they will hold, but be strength depleted. As we continue down the tree, let's take a look at, let's take a look at some little friendlier, less friendly divisions. The army revolts as we take pull back from the Chaco border, and we are now non-aligned, so we've swapped alignments again. Pretty nice, pretty convenient. And with Chile gone, and it was taking care of some of those German convoys, we're actually holding our own. I think we've just about got this. Hans Guderian, have you heard about his campaign in Chile? But in this world, this timeline, that's where he fights. We're just struggling to take out the last of Chile so that we can get down to deal with Germany. And there we are. We've split off some of their divisions. Some of the divisions in the south, they might have pulled back to Germany. I'm not sure where they went, or they might have tried to pull away. But we're slowly pushing them back. This is painful, but it could have gone a lot worse. We got our 1938 tank. This is how I build my tanks. Relatively inexpensive. The goal is to maximize the armor and then place them on the front of those Marine units, which takes them from 25 width to 27 width, which I think is the ideal width. We also want to keep an eye on the different wars. Okay, so there's several different wars going on. The Soviet Union is already fighting Germany, but I don't know how they're going to really make that happen because I don't think they've got a shared border. But that's good because Germany's very strong, so we need to be very aware of it. We want Germany to be strong. We want them to attack out because they will help attack other nations and make them weaker for us. Well, we're just about finishing up. Let's start our agency. Probably could have started that a little bit earlier. The primary purpose of agency is collaboration governments, but also we want to increase our decryption and then encryption. As we continue down past discipline and honest and hierarchy and order, that's suspend the elections. Okay, we're going to temporarily suspend elections just for a little bit. We're still thinking positive. There's no reason to be alarmed. Just, suspend elections for a little bit. We're in the middle of a war. We're also going to move down our Marine. After that, ban the Liberal Party. Yeah, no one's going to worry about that, right? I mean, we weren't worried about them anyway, and we just want to have some peace. And there we are, finishing off the last of the German troops in Chile. That really weakened them quite a bit, so I think they could be in for a tough time. But we'll go take them out and move on to another target. Because I hadn't balanced or juggled my political power correctly, I'm gated out from my next focus because I hadn't gone into war economy, so I'll switch off to the right to just take 2 focuses until I have, look at that, until I have enough XP. So Someone who was in the Axis declared war on China. China was guaranteed by England, Great Britain, which means China joined the Allies. Great Britain is now at war with Germany. All right. This is a brief overview of how we do Lend-Lease. First, we request Lend-Lease, or offer Lend-Lease, give Lend-Lease, and then we request to a country that will give us, and we can get quite a bit of Lend-Lease. And it doesn't take too long to find countries that are at war with Germany, because we are that don't like Germany. So even if we don't have the positive opinion, they'll still give us equipment. The Great Chilean Earthquake. I don't like earthquakes in general, but in this game, this event gives us about 21% base stability. We've gone to war with Spain. Spain decided to land on us. I can't think of a worse place to land, but this is why we have garrison divisions. Oftentimes they don't have to be weak, they don't have to do much, but they'll just ensure that things don't get out of hand. I don't think 2 divisions would do much. We land 2 on the port, 2 off the port. Spain is still coming out of their civil war, and that shouldn't be too difficult to take them out. The aircraft I make are mixed role, bomb locks on the front, and then guns on the second and then eventually third slot. I will give them drop tanks, armor, and self-sealing tanks if I've got the rubber. Otherwise, they'll just get a single, then eventually a double armor. Now, finally, we're ungated. Let's end to ensure army loyalty. Oh, that's a decent focus. There's nothing wrong with ensuring that the army's loyal to us. We're in the middle of a war. So let's just keep that in mind. But the next few focuses look a little bit unusual. We've kind of headed toward a little bit of an authoritative room. With Spain on the ropes, I want to get the Russians, the Soviets, to fight the Allies. And since Italy's in the Allies, and Italy's guaranteeing Albania, and Greece is the Russians, and Greece is going to attack Albania, I'm going to justify in Greece to see if I can get the 2 of them to fight each other. Well, there goes Germany. I didn't get much of a war score. I did manage to pick up Chile, and I will take the German fleet, which is something. I left all of Europe pretty much to themselves. This is a great focus as we ensure loyalty. This is the first of, I think, maybe 1 or 2 focuses that actually bonuses up quite a few of the divisions, or each of the generals gains at least something. So that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, the United States has joined the Allies. Oh, well, that's kind of unfortunate, because that's going to make our life that much harder. Not to fight the army. I don't even know what the thought was with that, but okay, whatevs. With Spain going down, because Spain never joined the war with against Germany, or was when they were part of the Axis with Germany, we can annex and take them out. Meanwhile, Romania decided to attack Poland, who was part in the same faction as the Soviets. I'm not sure how wise that was. Sometimes ahistorical does make, I say, unwise choices. This is probably as unwise as any of them. Now let's radicalize the police. I mean, we've really gone down a dark road here. Not to find the army sounds pretty terrible, but radicalize the police? Well, maybe we become the enemy we tried to drive around or tried to destroy, but so be it. And there, Greece attacks Albania, and Albania joins the Kingdom of Romania. They joined Romania's faction. I was so hoping they would join allies. This is looking really tough, because the allies are just sitting around doing nothing, getting stronger. United States, UK, and now they want to go to war with me. So the clock is ticking. We need to go after them, because they will attack into me. The whole allies have nothing better to do. We attack them. We've got a 10-day focus, because we're a fascist. We're at war with a major, and we've got a 40% reduction. And we race across the board. I don't know where exactly the United States troops are. They must be in Europe, maybe facing off against the Russians, because we just split right across. Finnish snipers. I don't know what they're doing in here. I think the narrative on this is a little bit off. All right, let's take, I think, the permanent leader. Yeah, we're done. We've really abandoned any thought of really happiness or friendliness in our focuses, but there are a lot of really good focuses. If you take the leadership focuses after your final focus, after you switch fascism, you get to keep all of those great leadership traits. Well, we're just burning right through United States. We do have some subs out, but really, I just think their troops were all over in Europe, and it takes about 30 days to cross. With the United States done, let's head south. We're going to slowly move our way toward Colombia and clear out Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and eventually take the Pinal. We're also going to take Uruguay. We are growing faster and stronger with each passing month. But at this point, we're really past the point of failure. Once we've capitulated the United States, the rest is pretty much just, I mean, we've got fights to hell, but we're in a very good spot. Bolivia, they didn't defend their borders. Colombia actually had a border with us from former Brazil, so most of their troops there. So we just walked Marines straight in and got a capitulation on them. Not right away. Well, that's the end of Romania, and that means that both the Allies and the Soviets have nothing better to do except to deal with us. They're not at war with each other, so this is going to be kind of tough. But because we've capitulated the United States and our factories are growing, nothing like two naval invasions, two friends. I think Italy might have formed their own faction by now, but a democratic Italy and a communist Russia fighting side by side. And I think it's the non-aligned Portuguese, they joined a faction that had been at war with us, so we took them out. And this is how we cross the Atlantic. So they've got subs out everywhere. So you send like 48 divisions that you're willing to let die, send another 48 that you want to keep kind of, and then send your last 48 or whatever it is. And you're going to lose a fair amount of troops, but by clustering them all together, you'll actually save a lot of troops. All of your real critical troops, or most of them, will do just fine. So let's head into France, because part of the reason is we eventually do need to get to Europe, but France also holds the last of the state that we really want. So let's see how good France goes. And they joined the Fourth International. They actually joined the Soviets. That's actually really good, because the Soviets are going to have a hard time getting over to defend them. And I don't think their air force is nearly as powerful as the Allies. I actually am glad they joined the Soviets. That's finally something. A lot of things have gone well. The Stuff of Legends. Again, very powerful focus, very similar to Brazil's focus, except in this case, we need to control most of South America, and then we fire this one off, and when it completes, we then core almost all of South America. I think all of South America, and then part of Central America as well, but definitely South America. So once that finishes, our population, our manpower, our woes will be all done. As we head into December, I'm going to build a defensive line into Italy. There's no point in trying to push into them in the snow, and we will rip right into Germany. Not exactly sure where German troops were. I know they lost some in the war, so they really haven't been able to build up. And there's also one of the advantages of having so many subs out. If Germany moves their troops through the ocean, we have a good chance of taking care of them. So we're just going to move through and make sure we do not touch Oh, we did! We touched a Russian province. Because at that point they didn't have land access to the Allies, but now they do. They can actually push into that spot, and the Russians can grow into us. No big deal. Well, 1940 subs, this is what they do. The primary purpose of a 1940 sub, that's what sink convoys, but also tear away at enemy ships to reduce naval supremacy so we can eventually land across the channel. Attacking. Well, we're doing really quite well here. We're pushing right into Germany. We've got some pockets. The Russians are starting to, I say Russians and their allies, I should say, because not just the Russians. We're just keep pushing and pushing. The Soviets and their allies are really making a lot of effort. They're pushing back. We're kind of stretching the front line here as much as we can, but they just keep adding divisions and divisions. Well, with the May and the snowfall falling, we're going to push on through. We're going to push on through from the west, and it looks like we've got a breakthrough from the north of Italy, and we're going to be able to, I think, take them out. Let's see how they go, because they've got some divisions as well. They haven't been fighting that much, but there we go. We're going to break out. If we can get that port in, was at Venetia, and we've got it. And there we've got supply. We've got a supply hub, and now it's just a matter of time because we have a lot of troops. We're also starting to break through into Poland as well. Again, the Soviets are just able to cover the line, but they don't have quite as much troops as they need to, so I can push where needed, and we've got a little encirclement, but it is still tough going. Well, Italy's just about done here, and there they go. And there's another faction off the map, more importantly, another group of subs off the map, and the Italian fleet is available for anything we might need, like, say, a naval invasion. Well, we'll continue to push on through. We're finally opening up on the Eastern Front with growing strength in the air. We're continuing to expand, and there's that naval invasion. The Italian fleet was pretty helpful. It wasn't necessary because by now we'd cleared most of the British ships, so naval supremacy wasn't a problem. We're landing on and off the port, but most of the British army is just, they've been sunk. They've been fighting for so long that we can just push on through and before long capitulate this major. So it's one less major on the Allies, and we're one step closer to finally getting to peace conference. Pretty good, nice little strong army. So we'll pull those troops back and just keep pushing. We've now managed to capitulate enough of the Russian puppets and allies that we've got giant pockets, I guess mixed little pockets. We're pushing up through Sweden, which is part of the Allies, and we've got cavalry on a grand battle plan into Russia while we push into both Greece and then Turkey, which is its own faction. It's nice to battle plan here, and now that things are moving much quicker, and we've got enough aircraft. And there goes Turkey. Turkey actually, I think, joined a faction with Italy, and then Italy broke off and became their own faction. So Italy and Kingdom of Portugal are now gone. We're taking a look at the last of the factions. I think at this point it's China and Australia are the last of the factions. In the Allies and the Soviet Union, we're just going to battle plan our horses to the east. Cavalry, we're not we're micromanaging a little bit, just moving them and telling them to move as far east as possible because the Russian troops for the most part have been taken care of, but they are still causing losses. And there we are pushing into that near Murmansk, and that's it. The Soviets are gone. We will puppet part of the French in Tahiti, and then I'll puppet the Russians just in case I want to take foreign advisor decisions later. This game could go on for a while. The Allies could be strong, and that's the end of the League of Nations. All right, appropriate. 1942, and Norway is the reason. Norway decided to declare war on us, so that's when the League, I guess, decided that says there's no purpose in them doing much anymore. Pushing into China wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was. I think many of the Chinese troops are in Africa or they're in other places of the world, so our cavalry once again do a lot of work. It's more about maneuver than fighting in a lot of these battles, even starting from Argentina and Brazil and all the way to the end. Naval invasions in Australia. There's really nobody home in Australia. I think they've also largely been sunk. And here we are fighting for the last little bits of China. That was nice. That was very smooth. I'm very happy with that. It's a long list of countries. And just for fun, we will pop up parts of the United States and UK in Midway. And then I think over in Fiji, just in case I want to take the foreign advisors. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to play on. Well, that's it. Paraguay is a lot of fun. I still think they've got maybe the best focus tree in the game. Extremely powerful. I like how they transition between the different ideologies so smoothly. There's no party popularity requirement. They have extremely powerful leadership traits. They've got a powerful focus with a lot of manpower. They blow up really quickly. And they're just a blast to play. I really enjoyed them. They don't really have any major achievements. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day.